Oh, hello?
All right, folks, I can't hear that good in my ear. I don't know. Um, okay, we're back. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right, little technical difficulties. I'm gonna get this thing down. This is the last thing I do, folks. So welcome again. Like I said, we're just going to get into our show because we have with us, like I said, Sam Staton Jr., Labor District Council Business Manager at the Local 332, and we have a special guest with us today, and her name is Dr. Robin Cooper. She is the Commonwealth Association of School Administrators of the first woman, I like to say for Black History Month, Robin, I have to say this, the first woman and the first African American to lead the principals union. So welcome, welcome. I had to get that in there.
It's all right. Hi, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yes,
It's good to
welcome
be back.
everyone.
It's good to be back.
Yes, Robin, you are a friend to our show. I'm so glad that you are here. First, I want to say Cody is resting, so I'm here with two great individuals today, and we're going to jump right into it because it's been a busy week, and I just want everyone to know that Dr. Robin Cooper and we scheduled this show about 2 weeks ago before all the craziness was going on. Right, Robin? You're my witness.
Ooh, yep.
So, with that being said, we all know that the schools are scheduled to reopen February the 22nd. And there is a lot of controversy going on with the ventilation system. Is it safe for the children and the teachers and the principals and their staff to come back? And since we have Robin with us today representing those principals and the unions and the staff, Robin, tell us, what are some of the concerns? Let's just have it all out in the open today.
Well, there are many concerns, but Tony, first I would like to, thank you for having me. But the biggest concerns are the vaccinations, the ventilation reports, and really the vetting of the reports. So we just feel like, when the reopening plan was set for at the end of the summer, remember we talked then at the end of the summer, there was some pushback, and then the schools were halted. The school openings was halted until where we are now.
Right.
But what wasn't in play was the vaccination. And so, with the newly elected president, President Biden says that, it's 100 days. Give me 100 days to reopen schools, 100 days. So we're saying let's use the 100 days wisely. So and I need for folks to understand, we've been back. So for my members, I represent principals, assistant principals, climate managers, early childhood, prevention, intervention. It's a number, FACs, a number of people that CASA represents. We've already been back in the building. And so, we're back because they call us essential employees, essential, we need you, your job, you must be there. And we just think we're essential enough to receive the vaccine. So the vaccine is out and it's about, but we're getting ready to open schools and really, have a number of people return to the schools. And with that vaccine not being administered, we don't think that is really the best plan, especially for safety of workers, all workers. So I'm not just advocating for my members, I'm advocating for any employee that works for children.
So how long have the, go ahead, you was going to say something, Mr. Staton?
Question. So, how you doing? My name is Sam Staton Jr. How you doing?
Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm fine. Glad that you're on the show. The question
Thank you for having me.
Has there been any conversation with y'all in reference to the returning to work full-time and the kids coming back full-time? And because clearly I'm of mind that it is too early. I'm of mind that I think all teachers should be vaccinated before they come back to school. So to kind of put parents in a safe haven that at least when the kids come to school, at least the teachers have had the vaccine. So there has not been any discussions about the teachers and when and how. And I guess for me,
we've always had discussion. We've always had discussion. This is really what happens is there's always been a confusion between what information versus collaboration. So we are informed of what will happen, and then it happens, and we get feedback. and we get feedback and we get feedback. And so, you know, it's always for CASA, it's always our stance to partner with the district. You know, again, I represent administrators. We have to get the job done. We have to have schools open. We have to be ready for families. So we like to partner. When we veer away from the partnership, it's something that we just believe is colossally wrong. And the mere fact that the vaccine that's just coming out, just coming into play, we're saying let's slow down and let's make certain that when we open, we're open for good. We're
Right.
not opening, we're not closing, we're not reopening. When we open, and we've done everything in our power that's within our control to make certain that everybody's safe. You know, we're asking for, if President Biden has laid out this plan, 100 days, and I'm going to have all the school districts up and running. I don't know why Philadelphia is saying we're going to stick to our plan. The difference is that vaccination. So
Right.
we had communications. We are on the same page. I'm on the same page with Jerry Jordan. I'm on the same page with Royce Merriweather, who is the the president of school police. We're all on the same page. So you have your union leaders that are saying, you know, can we just slow it down? We're not saying stop. We're saying slow it down. Again, my members are already in the schools. They're already there. So they're there, and every day we receive reports from 3 to 4 schools across the district that has a COVID-19 positive case. So if that's occurring already, what happens when we open on Monday? We just don't think that we're ready because of those. That's just the vaccination. The ventilation reports, we still do not have reports that have been given to all of the administrators. We don't have them. And so people, they don't really know what they're walking into. There are a lot of things that any and everything that was in a principal's control to open schools, they've done that. Anything that has been in CASA's control to open schools, we've done that. But what the things that we're asking for, and that's the ventilation reports, we're asking for the vaccination, we just want fair, we want to be healthy. That's it.
So what you're saying is that you have positive cases while your staff has been in there. And they've been in there since what, September?
Pretty much August.
Okay, so they've been in there since
They were
August.
in and out before then.
Right.
But for the most part, and they have been operating both since August, trying to keep a virtual program going, but also reopening for the reopening of school for now.
So were you part of the whole ventilation conversation with the fans that they have, you know, taking this approach and purchasing? Were you all a part of that conversation?
We were informed, and once
Okay.
we gave feedback, then you know, we're informed, we're brought to the table. When we get feedback that differs, then all of, you know, then the meetings are kind of halted. So since the conversation regarding the fans, we have not had another meeting to discuss the fans and the ventilation.
So when you saw the pictures that the fans were in and they were being placed, were you a little shocked that they actually was going through without
You know what?
finalizing?
I was I think embarrassed. And that's because, and again, I'm not faulting the district. I am saying that, you know, we just can do better. And I guess my question is more along an equity piece. You know, I have been, as you know, I've been fighting about around the diversity, the equity, and the inclusion. And this is something that I just don't think that you would find in other places. So it's not where okay, well, this was our good faith effort. You know, I'm trying to understand, was it vetted through the health department? Was it cleared through the health department? Did they pass inspection? These are household fans. They're not industrialized fans. They're not commercial. They are household fans. And so, you know, in some cases, you have some that are on good plywood, but some are on plywood that is cracked. And it's just, I had a general membership meeting a few days ago, and it was just packed because people have so many concerns. And I just don't think that it's fair to paint people as being uncaring about children because they're concerned with their health. I don't see why the two are competing paradigms. It doesn't have to be.
Well, listen, we're going to hold that thought because we have to go to a commercial. We'll be right back with my two guests, Sam Staton Jr., Business Manager at 332, and Dr. Robin Cooper, CASA President for the Administrator Union. We'll be right back, folks.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Watch for a crash on 95 northbound this afternoon between Broad Street and the Walt Whitman Bridge. That's in that ongoing construction zone where we have one cattle chute lane to the left and 2 lanes to the right. So we've got the left express lane blocked, and looks like we've got a disabled vehicle on the right shoulder as well. It's part of that crash. Delay goes back to Island Avenue. Also seeing a disabled vehicle on 95 southbound between Allegheny and Girard. Right lane blocked there. That delay goes back to the Betsy Ross Bridge. Disabled vehicle on the Blue Route southbound between Media Swarthmore and McDade Boulevard. That's blocking the left lane. That delay goes back to Route 1. Schuylkill eastbound backs up 202 to Gulf Mills, 476 to Belmont, and Montgomery to University. Report brought to you by Wendy's. New to the Wendy's 2 for $5 lineup is their classic chicken sandwich, so go grab a 2 for $5 deal and pick up 2 faves like a Dave's Single Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Nugs, and now the classic chicken sandwich, 2 for just $5. Price and participation may vary, limited time only. And for more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. I'm Jason Lee with your Philadelphia area traffic.
What's up, everyone? I know you know the word, no, not the station, but this word, J-O-B that is, and our friends at Amoroso's Baking Company are hiring right now. Amoroso's has been baking the delicious bread in our community for over 100 years, and they want you to join their team today. The old and the young love Amoroso's, and they are hiring right now. Check it out. They offer fair pay and provide health, dental, and prescription plans after 90 days employment. Call 856-754-0355 or visit amorososbaking.com for details.
The sports segment. Tune in to Wake Up with WURD, Mondays as Solomon Jones discusses all things sports with Shamar Woods, Director of Digital Sports for The Inquirer. Every Monday on Wake Up with WURD, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media. This WURD Wellness Vignette is brought to you by Premium Nutrition Meals. WURD Radio presents the following wellness tip to support our listeners with mindfulness and motivation as we continue to navigate the pandemic together.
Hi, this is Halana, your resident health and wellness coach, with tips to help you stay well. Nature is all around us, and each tree supports our ability to breathe fresh, clean air. Let's think about this for a moment. When we take a walk in nature, we open our senses to appreciate the beautiful world around us and connect back to the earth. Taking a walk in nature can simply look like this. Number 1, stop for 5 minutes on your drive home and walk to the waterfront. Number 2, spend an hour this weekend walking a hiking trail nearby. Number 3, go for a 15-minute after dinner walk. Sometimes we think spending time in nature has to be an all-day experience. Yet, even just a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Taking a walk in nature is something we can all do to support our overall health. Go ahead, try it today. Stay well with WURD. Happy living.
Stay well with WURD. Connect with us at wordradio.com. This WURD Wellness Vignette was brought to you by Premium Nutrition Meals. WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Welcome back to More Labels Live, and I'm here again with Dr. Robin Cooper and also Sam Staton Jr. Mr. Staton, you have a question?
Yes, I was. In fact, y'all been back in the school since August, and they're seeing you as essential workers. What has been a conversation as far as the vaccine? Is the mayor, anybody talking or giving any set dates or when teachers and yourself will be vaccinated? Everything's quiet.
Not that I have heard. We shared our sentiment. I shared my sentiment with the chief of schools, Dr. Evelyn Nunez. Karen Kolsky for Dr. Evelyn Nunez. She said she would take the information back. And so it's all of these layers to be able to get a message through in regards to, you know, making sure that people understand that we would like everybody vaccinated. You know, we have set up some regional centers for special education students, and so there, those folks are vaccinated. And then when, for example, when the principal asks, oh no, they're only vaccinating these folks. So, but it's the principal who's over that regional center. So we're saying anybody who interacts with children should be vaccinated. We just think that that's just fair.
So I'm going to ask you a question too, because parents are listening, you know, guardians are listening. What is it? Do you need anything from them? Should they be contacting certain people, putting calls and emails? What is it you need from the public?
They should contact their city council person, their state reps. I think that that parents have to be heard. And I don't know, I've been keeping up with the you know, the school board and even school board meetings, and now it's going to become more difficult to even access and share your voice, or if it's not a voice that sides with what the school board is doing, then your voice can ultimately be silenced. So I just think that parents have to advocate. Currently, we have 30% of parents who've opted in to a hybrid model, but yet the district is saying that in July, all of the voices that were heard were not representative of the parent community. So if it wasn't representative of the parent community, how is it only 30% of the parent community have opted in for this hybrid learning? So where are all of these parents that are saying, I want my child in school today? I think parents want their children in school, but they want it done responsibly and they want it done safely. So what happens is when you try to pit group against group, we stand with parents, we stand with staff members, we stand with the community. I was born and raised in North Philadelphia. I went to public school from beginning to end. I went to every state school. I am vested in this community. I am vested in public education, and I think that we have to stop playing games and experimenting with people's children. If 30% of the parents are opting in, then 30% of the parents are saying, I think I know a little bit about what's best for my child.
I mean, I just think at the end of the day, if you think about it, and we talk a lot about the inequalities when it comes to education and the urban kids, and you know, you're always taught that your environment has everything to do with your productivity, whether you're getting educated or you're at work. So my thing is, these kids see the lack of effort that's put, you know, forward when you talk about education. You know, they see what's trending on social media when these fans, you know, and that just shows that the power of be, they're not really thinking about their best interests. They know compared to other school districts what they may have, you know, considered health-wise and what's safe. And you think that these kids aren't taking all of this in. This is where that caring process goes. Because guess what? They want to be in school too. They want to be where it's safe though. And they want to be where they know they can get educated. Because I'm going to tell you what's been going on for a lot of years. You know, in these conditions, think about it. When you see all the heavy paint that's peeling in the hallways in the schools, when you go in the bathrooms and there's no hot water, come on, we're going to tell them what it is, you know, and some of the conditions, you can't even get approved for Section 8 if you're not up to code. But you mean these schools can get away with these conditions? These politicians and the mayor and everyone is allowing these conditions to be the way they are, and you can't even get approved for Section 8 if your house is not in order. So my thing is, there's an imbalance somewhere. When do we stop caring? When did the developers and this developing our city to look good oversee or supersede the kids' education? Because that's where your taxes, the lack of taxes is going. It's not going into school. So it's just such a conflict of it's so sad. It's just so sad.
It really is sad, and I think we have to hold our city accountable. Our mayor is the education mayor. He is the education mayor. We have to hold our city accountable. We have to hold our state accountable. We have to hold our district accountable. And that doesn't mean that we don't support the city or Dr. Hyde or anything else. We want to make certain that our children are in the safest environment ever. You know, we are still reeling from the asbestos and the lead
Yes.
and all of those things. So we already know that there is a problem. So working to try to fix the problem, let's try to not put a Band-Aid on it and then have to close 2 weeks later, because that's going to be embarrassing. We keep having mishap after mishap when we can literally say sometimes the stakeholders get it right. A lot of times the stakeholders get it right. So, you know, truly involve the stakeholders in this situation, because again, you know, a lot of the adults, I wasn't for that. You know, we're going to make you come back anyway. And, you know, we're going to make you. And I feel like that was retribution for fighting against the school opening in September. So now that you have these adults in, you have adults getting positive cases, but then what happens is when they report the cases, then the question, oh, well, we don't know whether they got it from school or at home. But the point is, we would have known they didn't get it at school had you just allowed and trust your employees to work virtually, because here's what people don't realize. When your child is in school, they are going to be isolated. There is no socialization period. They are going to be 6 feet apart and all of those pieces. So I think parents want children to have a robust time in school, robust activities to be able to, so not only to learn, but to, you know, socialization is a part of learning.
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Mr. Staten, I'm sorry. You have something?
Yes, I was listening because, you know, again, our district council and the other locals that's involved with our district council got on this radio station because we have members have children in the public school, and we needed to have a way for people to have a voice. I happened to come to the office today and see about 10 messages on my phone, and 5 of them were from my members asking about, do we know about the schools opening and how we feel about the fans, and is it going to be safe for the kids? You know, so as a union, we definitely got concerns too, because our children are going to these schools. So we definitely want to have some input and have something to say to the mayor and to Dr. Haight to say, hey, first of all, what's the rush if it can't be right? 2, why are the teachers not being vaccinated if they're going to be dealing with our children? That is serious, because you can't say teachers catching COVID and then something happened to our kids and say, I'm sorry, we're going to correct it, because we got a chance to correct it right now before it happens, not starting the school before teachers get vaccinated. So because my members raising those concerns, it makes me have to pay attention. It makes me have to ask them questions, because I want to make sure they're comfortable, because, again, their kids are in the public system and the schools, like our kids in the school system. But, you know, they got to know that you're going to do it right, and it's not a rush. You know, the school is not ready. The fans is a whole another issue. Because, again, dead of winter, how do you blow cold air in the room in dead of winter, saying you're making good air? So it's the other things that have to be talked about, and I don't know what the rush is, why people can't come to the table and say, let's get a solution that works for everybody. Get the teachers vaccine, work about how we get certain kind of machinery in the classes that filter good air, so that can be taken if we actually want to do it right. So I'm going to leave this conversation today, calling some other people and say, hey, I need some answers, and hope we can get this thing turned around, because I'm not understanding what the rush is and why we have to do such a thing in a hurry when our kids are involved. So my eyes are a little bit open, especially because my members calling me on the phone, so they're concerned. So that makes me more concerned.
And Sam, I appreciate that, because that's our focus point, is to make certain that people are aware. Make your own informed decision. You know, make your own informed decision. But I just think that parents have made their informed decision with 30% returning. So, you know, when you're talking about, well, this school district returned or that school district returned, but did they have some of the fighting pieces that we have to fight and contend with? Do they have those ventilation problems? In some rooms, you could have a huge building, and I look at the ventilation report, and it says only 1 or 2 people can occupy that space. So when you are asking questions, we all want children to come back to school. We are ready. We're prepared for it. Virtual learning has taken its toll, I think, on everybody. You have children sitting in front of computers for at least 5 hours a day. So we know that in person is the best thing, but is it the safest thing? So we do ask for you to please go back, share with people, because our goal is to inform. I just want people to make informed decisions. If 90% said, well, I heard you and I'm taking my child back, then they have that right because that's their child. All we can do is share the information, but we want to make certain that there's no silencing of information or silencing of voices. You know, because I'm disturbed when you say you're going to change, you know, the way people can inform and speak at public forums because you don't like the outcome of the advocacy that was done. That's disturbing, and it seeks to silence mainly poor people who access public education. Because here's the thing, us on this line, we probably can send our children anywhere. But how many people, how many parents have that luxury?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And what I want to know, too, is do you know the number of parents who have agreed to the hybrid learning? Because if my thing is if you're opening or you claim to open in 2 weeks on February 22nd, you have to have at least an estimated number of parents who have agreed.
30%. 30%.
So that's the 30%.
Yeah, but the other thing here is how is it that when it was all the conversations about the vaccine and who's going to get it, and all I kept hearing is essential workers, essential workers, essential workers. So how do teachers not fit in that category?
And that's what I'm thinking. You know, when everybody was, you know, when the pandemic first hit, everybody around the city, everybody was being paid, you know, overtime, extra time, this time, because it was hazardous pay. You didn't know what was going on. When it came time for administrators and teachers with computer distribution, they said, oh no, you guys are volunteers. So, but when you're asking about but here's the thing, for CASA, they're going to get the job done. So for CASA, they volunteer to make certain that every student had their computers, their Chromebooks, and all of those things. They did that for those children. They have been working overtime. They have been doing overtime with no pay, no assistance, no anything. But the picture that's constantly painted is that you have the school district folks don't want to work. But they are working. They're working overtime to try to make things work. But square pegs don't fit round holes. It doesn't happen. So if I don't understand a ventilation report, or if I'm in a room that can hold approximately 30 kids, and now you have COVID, so maybe it'll hold 15 kids, but I have a ventilation report that says the air quality can really only hold one person, what does that mean?
And see, that's my concern.
We're not going to really grasp the gravity of that.
Well, that's my concern, because you say 30%, or they say 30% of the parents agreed to send their kids back. But how transparent were they? You know, I've read a lot on social media that parents were like, hey, we took a survey, but we didn't know survey had anything to do with the fans we see. So there is a disconnect as to what the anticipation is, you know, that you have for your child attending a safe environment. And I don't think that part of the survey, the fans, and I didn't take it, but like I said, I saw on social media a couple of people said, oh, I didn't know the survey they were talking about the fans when they mentioned ventilation. So if you're not, you know, being transparent about what that ventilation type is, you know, that's doing a disservice to those 30%. That's
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's a little
you know,
frustrating.
it's just where, you know, just looking at the fans, and it was a little disheartening because Philadelphia, we've been getting our fair share of criticism lately, you know, and it's to add the fan part onto it, because I know for folks in the district, they are working hard. They're working, But, again, I think that if they allow for authentic voices from the field to actually be included, and also for other environmentalists, like sometimes you need those outside voices to really come up with the best idea that you possibly can come up with. But if you're only close to what your tight group is saying, and you're going to have some missteps.
Well, with that being said, wait a minute, hold that thought, Mr. Staten, because we're going to take a short commercial. We'll be right back with more Labor's Live.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Watch for a crash on 95 northbound this afternoon between Broad Street and the Walt Whitman Bridge. That's in that ongoing construction zone where we have one cattle chute lane to the left and 2 lanes to the right. So we've got the left express lane blocked, and looks like we've got a disabled vehicle on the right shoulder as well as part of that crash. Delay goes back to Island Avenue. Also seeing a disabled vehicle on 95 southbound between Allegheny and Girard. Right lane blocked there. That delay goes back to the Betsy Ross Bridge. Disabled vehicle on the Blue Route southbound between Media Swarthmore and McDade Boulevard. That's blocking the left lane. That delay goes back to Route 1. Schuylkill eastbound backs up 202 to Gulf Mills, 476 to Belmont, and Montgomery to University. Report brought to you by Wendy's. New to the Wendy's 2 for $5 lineup is their classic chicken sandwich, so go grab a 2 for $5 deal and pick up 2 faves like a Dave's Single Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Nugs, and now the classic chicken sandwich, 2 for just $5. Price and participation may vary, limited time only. And for more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. I'm Jason Lee with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Want the latest in WURD swag? Check out the shop tab on WURDradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WURDradio.com. Show the world that you're all about black. Talk Media.
Attention WURD audience, do you know that you can get help with your PICO energy bill? PICO is here to help you with financial help through various assistance programs, including the PICO CAP program, which provides a monthly credit for eligible low-income customers based on the customer's total household gross income and energy usage. If you are experiencing financial hardship, you may qualify for the PICO CAP program.
And PICO Cares is the customer assistance and referral evaluation service designed to assist special needs, low-income customers who have a temporary personal or financial hardship that prevents the payment of your PICO energy bill. If you have a special needs child or adult in your care, your household may qualify for the CARES program.
Call 1-800-774-7040 today to see if you qualify due to an existing situation or a change in circumstances within your household. Call 1-800-774-7040 today for more information on the PICO CAP or PICO Cares program. PICO, powering our communities.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Welcome back to more Labor's Live, folks. Mr. Staten, you had a question.
Yes. It's a twofold question. Is there anybody in the school system that essential workers that had the vaccine or is in line to get the vaccine? That's the first part.
In the school district that has the vaccine?
That has been given the vaccine. You said the special ed teachers, right?
Yes. By the district that the district pushed for has been the special education teachers that will be working in those regional centers. So it's 6 regional centers around the city. So those folks have received the vaccination, and other folks have, if they were lucky enough to be on somebody's list and stood in the right line, but for the most part, the masses have not. One of the things I was told today is, if they did not go and there is access because the vaccine is out there and they need to go and get the vaccine. And I was quite surprised because, my understanding is there are not enough vaccines being given to Philadelphia at this current time. So if you are operating at 15,000 vaccines, and that's for the entire city, then you're out of vaccines relatively quickly. But, I had someone that gave some pushback and said, the vaccine is out there. They just have to go and get it. And you know, sometimes I just want to argue with fact. Right now, you just can't go and get the vaccine if you're not in a particular category. You can't. I don't care how much you want to, you can't. Now, in some cases, I have heard that if the people cancel on their appointment, you may be able to slide in. But that is no plan for a number of, you have approximately 9,000 students that are slated to come back February the 22nd. So that's for pre-K to 2, 9,000 that are slated to come back. So I don't think that it's fair to ask them to go and stand in the line only to have someone says that this is not your category, step out of line.
Right. So what was your second question? You said it was two parts of your question, sir.
The other is, so are there any teachers that's refusing the vaccine?
I'm sure that there are. I'm sure that there are many people, not just teachers, but many folks who will deny the vaccine because you know a lot of folks are distrusting of the government and you know taking the vaccine as well. You can't stop or mandate people to take the vaccine. What we are saying is this offers an option of safety for you to be able to go and do your job in the safest environment possible.
Because I do know, not the president, the governor, all of us are put in a law about, especially in senior homes and medical places where people are vulnerable, that they're making that a requirement for people to maintain their employment. Because it's like if you get the COVID and kill 10 people because you didn't get the vaccine, then they're looking at that to be an issue. And it's been proven that the vaccine is something that's saving lives. I was just curious, how do we, on one end, say, let me in the school to go to work, and we're going to do that when time is good, but then when they say take the vaccine, you're saying we don't want to take the vaccine. Now, we're saying one end, we want a vaccine so our kids to be safe, and then the ones that don't want to take the vaccine say we're not going to take the vaccine, but we still want to go to work. So it can't be both ways. If you talk about the kids and the kids' safety, and if you're saying the vaccine is the way for the safety, then it got somewhere we got to take a position that if it's all about the kids, then people got to be allowed to say, the only way I'm going to be with these kids is I get my vaccine. Do you understand?
And I think that's a good point, Sam. I think you can't have it both ways. You have to decide. It's the same way with children. Prior to, you couldn't start school until you had your vaccination shots. Right. So, I think a lot of folks are uncomfortable right now because it's never been heard of. This whole pandemic piece is new around coronavirus. Some are taking a wait and see approach, but we do understand, like at that point, nobody is saying that it's mandatory for you because you are in control of your own body, but we are saying that if you're coming to work with others and to work with children, then you need to have had the vaccine. Or I'm hoping that is the dialogue of what's being said, because we definitely want to make certain that it's a safe environment for all.
Go ahead. When we talk about things we're talking about and you want to address them, we got to address them as a whole, because you can't have people say one thing on one end and then that really confuses the process, because we're fighting to get vaccines, we're fighting to get safety stuff in the schools, and you got other people say, I'm not going to take the vaccine and I still want to come to work. That makes a problem in itself. It causes a lot of division. So what we all know is the vaccine killed people. We know, not having the vaccine and people catching that virus killed them. So we know for sure that right now this is the only, so far, is the safe out. Until it's been proven different, then I don't know if much we have an option, and we can't wait till somebody catch it and then want to get the vaccine to save their life. So for me, it's something to talk about, because overall you want to present your case in a matter of, they say, okay, we're going to vaccine all the teachers. All the teachers got to be ready to get vaccinated. Opposed to people dropping out saying, I ain't doing it. You wind up got 40% in and 60% out, or 60% and 40% out because they don't want to take the vaccine. So those things got to be addressed, again, more so than the fan, because all that stuff, material stuff, we definitely can correct and make that right. But physical people going into the schools with the kids is a must, that they be at that the kids be at the safest possible position.
Well, I just think that this conversation, it has to start another conversation, another meeting with everybody involved in the room together, trying to decide what's in the best interest of the staff, the kids, and everyone involved. You just can't have, like you said, these different groups meeting, and then everybody's making their own decisions. We all have to come together, the unions. The unions that are involved, the city council, everybody has to get involved in this situation because it's our kids that really are at stake. And we know at the end of the day, there's a lot that's going on in our city right now that's centered around the whole absence of, children being in school. And we get it. We want a safe environment. At the end of the day, we have to find a solution that's going to best fit and suit the staff and the children so they can be safe. And we have to realize that, like I said, transparency is key. I'm really not convinced that the 30% had a clue as to what ventilation meant or safe ventilation really meant to them, their eyes. And I might be wrong, but I just can't see 30% signing on to fans. Like, I clearly explain to them in the survey. I just can't see that happening. And that's why I said we have to come together. And it's not just the unions, it's city council, it's the mayor, it's everybody has to be on one accord because this has to work. And like you say, why not wait the 100 days? What is the rush? My thing to you, I wanted to ask Robin real quick is, could some of the teachers, let's just say the third party came in and said the ventilation is fine, could some teachers still opt out or principals and say, listen, I still want to work virtual, since it's still kids going virtual? Did they have that option or they have to be in class?
What I understand, and I do want to say that there was a statement from Councilwoman Gim's office this afternoon that went out where she's asking for a stay of school opening until some of these issues can be resolved. So we're definitely thankful for her advocacy. From what I understand, and I'm reading the newspaper like you all are, that no matter what comes of this third party observation of the schools and what their findings are, it's my understanding that you will be back if you are an adult in school in that room by yourself, because at this point it becomes no matter, it's almost like a control mechanism. Because I can force you back, that is what I am going to do. So even if the mediator says, no, they're not quite ready yet, go back to the drawing board, then I'm still going to enforce all of the remaining adults back. So you have a number of things that are going on. And when the issue really is just around safety, and this is why we're saying when your stakeholders are saying, we have a horse in this race. We really want to sit down and collaborate. I don't understand how you dig your heels in and say, it's my ball game. I have, I'm running all the calls. I am going to do it and I'm going to win the game. It's not about playing a ball game. It's really about safety. So because you can make people come in, is it the safest thing to do? Because you can. I don't know.
Yeah, on that note, I just want to encourage everybody, because we have about 2 minutes left. I want to encourage everyone that's listening. I want to thank Dr. Robin Cooper, of course, for coming on the show and being a friend of the show, of course. And I just want everybody, like she said, reach out to the city council person, within your district and your area, parents, guardians. You have to, state your concern. You are a part of this process, too. Your voices need to be heard. And I just think it's sad at the end of the day, you talk about Black History Month, and, the inequalities, like, of our school district that definitely is not happening in other school districts, that we are supposed to, as Black and brown community, put up with, in a sense, put a Band-Aid on our issues instead of really trying to figure out, these educated people who are supposed to fight and have a voice for us, to really figure out and get some, resolve a lot of these issues. You're talking 60 plus years after the Little Rock 9, and our voices still need to be heard to get our kids educated in a safe environment. It's crazy to me. And so this is why I'm encouraging, because like Mr. Staten said, our members are part of the community. Their kids are part of the community. They're calling us to see what we're saying or what we think they should do. So they're looking to the people who, they basically put in charge, to have answers for them. So we got to come together and we got to have answers for our kids and for their parents. With that being said, thank you everyone for coming on today. I appreciate you. And, you've been listening to Labor's Live. Thank you again for Mr. Staten and Dr. Robin Cooper. It's been a pleasure. And have a safe weekend, folks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Talking about Cody Anderson, a shout-out. Wish him his health.
Yes, Cody, yes. Get some rest and continue to get some rest, Cody. We miss you and we love you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.